All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the North Bay Electric Auto Association meeting. We're a little bit late, but thank you for sticking around and being here. Hello, everybody in person.
Hi.
Hi. I guess that's my bigger audience here. Okay.
Yeah, you can scope. Yeah.
All right.
I'll find it.
Yeah. So we're meeting. We're doing a hybrid picnic / not picnic for those of you online. Unless you brought your own food, I hope you brought some food so you can snack. So we're the North Bay Electric Auto Association, and we are a chapter of the Electric Vehicle Association, and I'm trying to remember all the things I need to say.
And you need the slides in front of you in order to do that?
The slides.
Okay, just a sec.
I don't have it memorized.
And start with introductions.
Yeah, we start with introductions. There you go.
We could do introductions. Well, it's going to be a shorter meeting today. We will be
Not at the rate we're going.
That's exactly right.
David, can you see the presentation now?
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys see the presentation?
Yeah, it still has the title slide there. What's new in the world of
That's
EVs?
fine. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Right. So we're going to do introductions as we were discussed, and we'll do chapter business stuff. We don't think we have anything really, and then we'll go through news and things like that. All right. So let's do introductions. I will start. I'm Celie Sullivan, President, North Bay Electric Auto Association, and I drive a 2018 Model 3. And we'll start in person. We'll just go to person on your right.
All right, I'm Don Boulomard, and usually when I'm in Sebastopol, you'll see me on my electric bike. But today I had to carry coffee, so anyway, I'm in my EV6, and it's been a great car so far. Did a tour of it back about 3 months ago. I sold one. I didn't get a commission yet. I'm still waiting from Kia.
Oh, wow.
But Jerry bought one recently as well. And then my other car, I think I'm the only diesel driver here. I do a lot of RVing and boating. And so I have a 21 diesel Duramax 3-liter. Truck is amazing with 29 miles per gallon, which is just an absolute shock for four-wheel drive. But that's how I get it.
All right. Hi, right. Living in Santa Rosa. This last week I've been on my e-bike a lot because kids are not in school this week. That's been liberating. And I drove my 2016 Leaf here, and then we also have a 2021 ID4 with a road trip out to Colorado. I don't know. That was my first one. Multi-state.
By the way, can you all hear okay? David, you hear okay?
I can hear okay.
Okay, good.
I'm Ellen.
The volume's pretty low for me. I've got it turned up all the way. Your voice is great, but other people are pretty quiet.
Yeah, well, they're about 15 feet away. Speak up, Ellen.
Okay.
Yep.
My name is Ellen. I live in Santa Rosa. I drive a 2017 Chevy. I bought in 2019. And my dad and I wanted to get Tahoe 6 in our Volts. So that'll be fun.
My name is Sonia Carey. I'm President Emeritus of the NBEAA, and I drive the 2018 Model 3.
You can see the
Hi, I'm Brad Morrison. I live in Santa Rosa, the JC neighborhood. I drive a 2004 Honda Civic Hybrid with the idea that someday I will decide to pull the trigger and buy an EV. But for now, I have 185,000 plus miles.
Oh, that's great. I apologize to everybody. I'm going to move the microphone a little bit closer.
I'm Tor. I rode my bike this morning on an errand, and then I drove a 2020 Volt.
I'm John Pomerly. Ellen and I are related. She's my daughter.
That's how you got the same last name.
Yeah. Well, hers is Cisco Pomerly, which is very painful. Mine is just not 20. It's a 1985 Toyota pickup, and it was converted. Now has a Leaf motor in it. That's what I drive to work every day. It's been great. Pretty much it.
John, was that the first conversion, was putting the Leaf electronics? That was the
No,
second conversion.
yeah, the second. The first one was a DC motor. That then the controller on that just fried one day on the freeway, and they didn't. There's no support from no support from the controller. In other words, and they couldn't even tell me how to give me a circuit board or any part or anything. I mean, so it was put in the shade for a while, and then through my work, Thunderstruck Motors, we got a Nissan Leaf motor that I took out of the Geo Metro that I used to drive, and it's really great. It's very pleasing and rewarding to drive.
My name's Tim. Came down from Willits. I'm driving my wife's 2018 Leaf, and I was driving a 93 or 4, I can't remember, Selectria Force GT,
Oh, wow.
but where the wire is fried and it doesn't run right now.
But you have it.
But I have it. Yes.
Wow.
Zeno.
Yeah, Daniel Scheiding, I'm on phone from my place here in my phone. I'm a board member of the Bicycle Coalition, so I try to kind of be a role model in town and have a very visible bike helmet. When can be inquired.
Julia forced you into it, huh?
I'm from Holland, so we don't really use that in the numbers. But I got a bicycle helmet. And in the summer, I try to, I met in Santa Rosa yesterday. Try to use it more. I have a Honda Etzbach, a hybrid. And hybrids have become something. If you may have noticed that some people think that they're more that have certain environmental advantage over electric. And I'm happy to talk to you about that after the presentation.
Mike.
I'm Mike Newell from Santa Rosa, still driving a 2012 Leaf, which this is about as far as maybe as far as Dom's house, but that's and yeah, it's gonna keep driving it till it's going.
How many miles do you have?
Yeah.
It only has like 85,000 miles.
Okay.
But
What the battery said.
but yeah, it's got about 25 mile range.
The
Wow.
commitment in the years are really the
Yeah.
remarkable
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
2011.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm Jerry Glazer. And we'll get to David and others on the call here in a sec. I used to drive a 2011 Leaf, and before that, the Honda EV Plus. And my 2011 has 75,000 miles on it, and I traded it in for the 2018 that we leased and then bought because it only cost $12,000 to buy, and I could sell it for $22,000 at the time, which is crazy. And we're still driving that one most of the time, but then we already have over 2,000 miles on our Kia EV6, which at some point I'll give a presentation on how to buy a Kia EV6 and get the IRA money or some of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Find the right dealer.
Well, yeah, the dealer here in town is very good about doing that, but the numbers are very complicated. Okay, and David, you're up.
Okay, yeah, and my mic is on. David Harris, I'm here in Santa Rosa, and we have the 2017 Bolt, which is starting to give me warnings about cars that aren't there. So I've got the electrical problem in the Bolt, and a 2020 Nissan Leaf SV Plus. And I'm flying this week to Philadelphia and picking up a Tesla Model 3 from a Turo rental.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice.
Lawrence, you're walking here from Palo Alto?
Yep, I'm in Palo Alto, Lawrence, Garland. So I've
Oh, your
got
cell connection's gone
a
bad.
recumbent Bionics boost back wheel, electric bike with utility trailer. Oh yeah, so
All right, very good. I see Aaron, new to the group. You're on mute. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm kind of in a funny area, so my signal I don't think is too good. But my name is Aaron. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm opening up an electric bike store in Petaluma. They're in Theater Square, and just got introduced to you guys and wanted to just kind of sit in and listen.
Oh, great. And we can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you.
And is that one of us?
Wooden Water is me.
Is you?
And
Okay.
every time I've disconnected, the meeting has ended.
Don't disconnect again.
So how I'm the host from the web, I have no idea.
And Zeno's connected as well. Okay. On to the next slide.
Cursor,
You want to go back?
Mouse cursor. The mouse cursor, like in the middle of the screen. Sorry, it's just
Looks like
Wait. What do you want to do?
the mouse cursor.
yeah.
If you could- like,
Oh, move it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
That
you.
bothers you?
Okay.
It bothers me too.
All right, great. Okay, yeah, so we kind of went through some of this. So you can find us on our website at NBEAA.org to find some of the links that we're mentioning. You can join the club. If you're here, you've probably already done so. Our NBEAA-club. We'll get emails about our meetings, a couple of like notices and a follow-up recap. The Facebook group, can you join that? Our meetings are recorded. This meeting and previous meetings will be up on YouTube, and we also have our slides will be available.
Sorry, I got crazy.
All right. So yeah, so we have a few lists that we use for communications. So everyone will be on the NBEAA-club group. We also have a discussion group, so you can join that and talk via email with other club members. For news, we'll talk about that a little later, but you can send to NBEAA-team@bluework.com.
And I don't think they need to know the rest of them.
Yeah, and the rest of
We'll take them off of there.
Yeah. All right. Announcements and events. So this is our big one. National Drive Electric Week is coming up in September. We will be partnering with Sonoma Clean Power, and we have Grant from SCP who will be coordinated with. So the time that we're talking about is September 30th at 11 a.m. to 3. I think that's kind of like set at this point. And so I'd like to open up for volunteers for helping support this event. Things that we're looking for could be presentations, or if you want to show off your car. I would like to say anything.
Sure. Yeah. So this was, we like really tried to get together something for last year and it didn't happen. They were like maybe Earth Day, but like this is what works for our team. So we have staff that's at the Advanced Energy Centers on 4th Street, Santa Rosa, and they'd be there to help put this on. We've also, so yeah, we kind of looked at our schedule. This is what kind of worked best for our team.
What day of the week is September?
Saturday.
Yeah. And we've also gone ahead and reserved the parking spots in front of the Advanced Energy Center. So we went through the city, and I think we have like 5 spots right in front of the center, and they'll just like put right back. So you know that morning, and then a couple across the street. So I'm curious, like I've never organized, you know, kind of like an EV showcase before, but like that was kind of the idea, and I really would rely on the like expertise of this group, since you know I've seen some of the ones that you put on before. But we have, you know, some staff with EVs, and we were kind of thinking maybe like 2 shifts, maybe, you know, like 2 2-hour shifts. And then, info tables inside, and then I think a lot of people have been in our classroom too, so we're, wondering if maybe we could have some presentations in the classroom as well.
Now, in the past, the only person I know who's organized when we've done one of the events actually is Mike. Isn't that true?
And like 4 or
Uh-huh.
4 or 5.
So we have expertise.
Okay.
And we just did Earth Day as
Yeah.
well, and that was very similar.
I was gonna say, based off of our Earth Day experience, we have to get the 1985 Toyota truck conversion there, because that was by far the biggest draw.
No pressure.
My
no
voice
pressure.
went hoarse.
No pressure.
Yeah. We went horse saying, talk to Mike or Ellen. Talk to John or
Yeah,
Ellen.
we had to replace each other. It was a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Tremendous amount of interest in conversion. Yeah.
Yeah, we can be there.
Well, good. I'll get my friend Misha to come down because he's bugging me. He says, you know how to convert it, a Saab to an EV? And I said, no, I don't. He says, yes, you do.
Come down and we'll give it all out.
Blocked up the whole street.
I think it's kind of the gateway drug truck.
That's right. That's right.
There are people who, think of themselves as DIY or they are mechanics or kind of like to do stuff in their driveways. We're really excited. And so it was a completely different
Yes.
group of people than you normally get excited. And then of course it's like, can you do this truck? I don't know, but maybe you can do something else similar. And that's what's exciting. And so if we could get like, some unique cars that are budget oriented or kind of unique, like one of these 50s that you don't see it.
Yeah, I think one of the SCP members already volunteered their EV6.
We have one. I haven't locked it down yet.
Yeah, I can bring mine. I don't know if Jerry, you can bring yours.
One of the things you talked about, and I don't know, I have an EV6, so I kind of rely on your expertise, but we were wondering if does that the handle that like bends down and it has like a electrical is that standard with the vehicle? Or
It's standard with the vehicle.
Okay.
And in fact, in the back seat, there's another outlet right in the back seat.
Okay. So one of the things we were also wanting to like talk about was like resilience. And we were looking at maybe getting like a popcorn maker or something like that we could like plug into the vehicle and
that would work.
That's impressive and exciting and all that. I think a more interesting application to show a full-size fridge plugged into the car.
Yeah.
If we, as a fridge, it'll run a fridge. Easy.
4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
For a week.
Run a fridge and a big screen TV. I'm talking about
Commercials, right?
Yeah.
Camping,
I mean, I'm not talking about a little fridge. I mean, it's 1800 watts, and that's
It's too bad we can't show. I mean, in the case of the Leaf and a couple other cars, I was disappointed that the EV6 didn't have vehicle to grid.
Yeah.
The Leaf has vehicle to grid, but
it's
getting
Chatham.
if we can get one of the companies that is selling the stations, they're not approved yet for deployment,
They're
but
commercial, they're 3-phase.
yeah.
I mean, Ford Lightning.
Reactions.
Yeah, I know.
Is there anybody that can bring a Ford Lightning? Because that would be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or Rivian.
Or a Rivian. Yeah, put a saw in the back like we saw at the Sebastopol.
Yeah, it was the Laguna de San Rosa.
Yeah. You can set it up.
Yeah.
Bridge.
So, Brand,
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I love. So it was your event at the
Grange.
at the Grange where the Laguna Center was. And he had all those tools plugged into the back. That's also cool. Something that like shows the utility of it. Whether it's
they're actually looking at adding bi-directional at their site, but that's an evolving story. But so one thing at that event was people keep saying, "Oh, I love talking to the owners of the vehicles because it just adds."
Yeah,
it's
real.
It's real, versus the dealers like, oh, I don't know, I've never driven it. So, but 5 spots, it seems kind of limiting, given the variety of cars. And so how do you imagine?
We have a few more across the street that we got just in case. I don't want to. But we're thinking also like maybe we can have it like in 2 shifts since like 4 hours is kind of like a long time to stand by your vehicle. Maybe we could have
pull some out.
Oh, in terms of rotation.
Yeah, like rotate
We
them
can
up
see
to 2
what's
hours.
selling.
It sounds like a huge ass to just block up 4th Street in front of you.
I imagine. So,
Yeah.
I
Take a few
think
months.
when we read back the meters, it's just like we're kind of like paying as if like somebody had, you
So-
know, taken that spot the whole day.
I wonder if over on Fifth, there's the parking lot there.
Yeah.
It's a private parking lot.
But
That's, if they would allow us on Saturday to use that too, and that could be an adjunct. People would park their cars there and say, if you want to see some more, they're over here, and just go around here, go across the street and there, and we'll put a little tent up, and then the owners could be around it.
What about the one you guys have with the EV chargers and the solar?
of the street, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just around, I mean, it's out your back door, basically.
You're like 2 blocks away though, right? So it's not that bad,
It's
huh?
a long block.
It's a long block, yeah.
David, you have a comment?
Oh, thank you.
We can hear you, David. You're on mute. Mute doesn't work. Mute doesn't work, David. No, on your computer, you're muted.
I like the.
Mute is working.
Oh, mute is working. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Now say something.
Who are you talking to?
You,
Oh, okay.
hand up.
Yes, I did put my hand up because you were talking about vehicle to grid, and I put a note in the chat that Fermata Energy does have, and they are marketing, but they want to market to fleets. And I've been trying to get them to talk to SunPower, one of the installers locally. So I have a contract with them, but I said, look, I want you to get a solution for the vehicle to grid before I have you install my panels.
Yeah, and PG&E hasn't opened it up yet.
Right.
Part of the issue. Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, that means that your best solution is to go off the grid, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay. More on this and
Yeah, I'm not,
Good.
is there like an electric bus that could get through the bread from there?
we wonder if the city would bring one by.
Several city ones.
Never taken
You
5
don't know if
spots.
they're gonna be
I mean, they're
on
probably
those
running.
routes or not.
Yeah.
Um,
That'd be good.
Yeah, and Proterra just declared chapter 11.
yeah, that might be a little bit more than we could manage for the event, but
You can take free rides around some basketball on it.
yeah.
And that's a
Yeah,
BYD.
for the event.
Good.
I think the spots across the street are really helpful.
Okay, so we should
Just point to
hold
them.
on to them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, can I get a raise of hand if people are interested in participating?
Enough.
You mean showing vehicles?
Either showing vehicles or doing presentation or helping out in some way. Yeah.
Brent, are there other things that you guys need besides displaying vehicles and explaining vehicles? Like, are you looking for volunteers in other areas?
Yeah, so I think the other things we've talked about are having some info tables inside. We kind of were thinking about like talking about things like incentives or rates is something that we as Sonoma Clean Power can talk to folks about. There's so many other things that are in there. And then like a presentation, maybe 2 presentations. When we were thinking about it on our team, we were thinking like incentives, like just going like people seem curious, like what's the latest, combination.
Yeah.
Or your story about the EV6, things like that. Or road tripping. I know there's been a lot of presentations on road trips and how people have handled that. Is it a boogeyman or not? But I'm curious if there's other thoughts. Would those be 2 good presentations? Should we have presentations, or the other things that we should think about?
Actually, the road trip one's not a bad one, because one of the comments I often get is people saying, well, there's no place to plug in. There's no place to plug in.
Right.
And lately I just finished a road trip about a month ago. And the real problem was this: finding the DC plus charge stations for the EV6 that were next to the place that I wanted to have a cup of coffee. It was a choice. I mean, I would end up going from here down to San Luis Obispo and going, which town do I want to stop at, and which has the shortest drive off to get the power I want. It wasn't a question of finding the power, just finding the coffee.
You can brew your own coffee, so plug in there.
He's got, the man makes a point, Jerry.
Overall question, Brent, about the event. And I want to make sure that you're not disappointed that nobody goes up to the meetings, because I'm thinking they have to go upstairs or an elevator, right?
It's in the advanced energy
Oh,
center. So
okay.
we have a classroom at the back.
Oh, okay.
There's no problem.
So then what incentive do people have? Like, what kind of advertising are we catching the flies as they come down the road? I'm just trying to think if people knew ahead about everything and we promoted it, then they could know about those events and we can tell people about it. But I'm just thinking, God, if they're just coming down the road and we say, go up there, they'll go, I don't want to.
That's actually a good point. When we did this for Earth Day, which is before COVID, the audience showed up. And on that day, I don't know about you, but I was hoarse at the end of the day because there were so many people who wanted to talk about EVs that came by, but they came for Earth Day.
Yeah. They're there. So, we would promote it for sure. So Slega pointed out that yesterday was our last day to register for being listed or for ordering the promotional materials for Drive Electric Week. So we did that, and some of those, and we'll be on I think we're on their website now, but we can refine the details.
You could think about like personalized consulting or a workshop where you get to talk to someone
Experts,
about whether they're lower income and they want those kinds of choices, or they don't have any taxes to claim or something. So there are different scenarios, and you can kind of go through a little bit with people. And if it's with, I don't know if it's like with Sonoma Clean Power or with volunteers, whichever works.
So your comment about rates triggered thought. One of the things I've been dealing with is like, how do I figure out which one of those rate structures I should be using?
Oh, it would be nice to have like a,
I've got solar, battery, and but I've
got
got servers that run 24/7. So, maybe time of use isn't the best.
Everybody's going to be time of use.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tim, everybody will be time of use because the state's already said we're rolling it out. And I think 2027 is the last
they're
place.
kind of in blocks.
They're in blocks.
It's super exciting. Like, so it's going to be now that you can have an EV rate just for a sub meter, and your smart charger will count as a sub meter. So it's not something you have to have like another service installed just to get the EV rate. So you could have your whole house on a rate that works for a house, and then an EV rate just for your EV. Just use your
Okay, that's good.
I don't know if this
a different charger, or
it just needs to be a connected charger. Yeah, there'll probably be some communication protocols that'll be required, but I would imagine, NLX or Charge 20, some of the bigger ones.
You got a Juice Box 40, and it's like got a Wi-Fi in it, but I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't want Wi-Fi. Give me a hardware connection. No, it's okay.
Yeah, that might not work.
PG now also has like a separate meter for EV charging.
Yeah, but so you can just have it's just expensive and it requires PG to come to your house.
Pay for the separate service fee and stuff.
Well, you have like a 11 to 3 period time frame, and the idea the classroom's kind of nice to utilize, or you just have a bunch of tables, people go around like, oh, you want to buy a used EV or chat with these people or whatever, or they're also doing 20 minutes in the classroom, whoever's going to talk about used cars or whatever, or the different topics.
So we talked about having food and drinks. So we have kind of like
in that fridge
kitchen in there. We could have a little mini fridge that's out there that's full of drinks in the front too. And then we're thinking about like a giveaway too, something. I don't know. My current idea is to have like once I went on a road trip this summer, I was like, I really need to get like a reflective window screen for when I'm parking and charging. But we're looking into getting ones that say like Sonoma Clean Power on or something like that. But I'm curious if there's like any giveaways or
like a brand new Rivian or something.
Just the key is all I want.
Just a little one. The little one. That's fine.
We have to be responsible for our rate.
I don't know how expensive they are, but the window screens is a great idea with your emblem on it. I mean, that would be great.
There's And in addition to the window screen, what I've noticed is, going up and down I-5 with the sun coming in one side or the other, the side, if there are side screens while you're driving that you can see through that are protected.
Yeah,
that would
there's
be
probably
really
like a
nice.
legal requirement for this.
Well, I don't know what, but
On the drivers.
yeah, the
Yeah,
drivers.
when I lived in Australia, like it was really common just to have a sun sleeve. So
Oh
it's
my
just like a
God,
one
we
arm
did that.
sleeve.
We did that, I'm sure we were just like.
So anyway, I like the idea of these incentives. I'm thinking incentives to get people to go inside, kind of to see to do the presentations, because I'm trying to think, why would they want to go?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I think
right.
before,
What draws them in.
in years past, it was about getting more people to buy cars because it was, really before any kind of uptake. And so we really had to do a lot with advertising or drawing people in from like that's why we kind of did it in a shopping mall and some places that we got a lot of pedestrian traffic that could come in. So I think, for on 4th Street, we need to do something with some kind of signage or
Sandwich
something
boards.
to get.
I think we do have existing sandwich boards. I mean, everything just.
Yeah.
Have you guys already contacted any vehicle dealers? I mean, so just to report as an update, my used vehicle dealer project in terms of getting any of the ones that I've talked to interested enough to even look at the links from either the IRS $4,000 federal used EV credit or any of the other credits, whether from the PG&E ones that you shared last time, has been like zero, in terms of follow-up. So that, remains not an option as far as used vehicle dealerships. But I did, I think in the last few months discovered that the Bay Area Air Quality Management District does have a list of participating dealerships. Unfortunately, the only one in Sonoma County is Platinum Chevrolet, and they're a new vehicle dealership.
Yeah.
So my conversations with people that work for new vehicle dealerships, they're just not interested in the, $500 or $1,000, paperwork processing fee that they might get from doing a consignment sale that takes like an hour where two private parties meet on their dealership and actually complete the transaction. They just don't have an interest in that.
But I mean, I did help this 80-year-old lady get a Maryland who's timed in a couple times. Fill out the paperwork for the PG&E $4,000. She finally got the check, because it's and then all her neighbors in the mobile home park are like, hey, help me, and so I think of the learning thing there is there's a market for used EVs, and we should at least have a portion of this helping. The other part is like when you buy a used EV from a private party, check the battery condition. Like, how do you do that? I don't know how to do
There's
that.
no button that just
Hit your multimeter on it. I don't know. If there's other advice on shopping for a used EV, there's certainly a large population that can't buy the brand new stuff.
That actually, you bring that one up about checking the battery condition. I think there's a push.
Plug in and get a report from.
You can get it, but the definition of what the battery condition is different for every vehicle. There's no standard yet for how you do the measurement. And the only company that I knew that would do things like that before, they would charge to a certain level and then discharge a certain amount and know how much they had discharged, and then look at the voltage changes and say, okay, this is about how good we are now.
But I like that. So that could be a table. Would be
like
all about used EVs. Maybe that should be. It seems like there's expertise in.
There might be a used EV dealer option there where you talk to CarMax.
I mean, one of the incentives requires you buy through a dealer, and what the other one does. And then you get a bump if you income qualified.
All right.
So
Going on?
We have a list now of folks that said they were interested. So that will be on discuss,
That
right?
will be we have a discussion on discuss. So if you have more ideas, or if you want to affirm your participation, please join that list, and we'll follow up with if I can see the video. Follow up with those of you who raise your hand.
Are you ready?
And then how do we get more closely tied in what Brand's doing, so we have more activity on the week to week thing? It sounds like you guys are probably meeting internally.
So we started a discussion.
It's just on the discussion.
Undiscussed.
Okay, it's all there. Okay.
Yeah, it's all there.
All right, very good.
Okay, news.
We can go find the slide.
So as you all know, the
You'd like to come up to the mic?
Yeah, come on.
Sort of.
should I?
Sure.
Here, you can have my chair.
Just sit here? Okay.
Don't hit any buttons.
Don't touch anything.
From experience.
So as you all know, the Chevy Bolt on July 25th, GM announced that they'll be returning it, which is very exciting. They unfortunately don't have a date set for when it will come back. I saw somewhere that said potentially 2025, but who knows? So I'm kind of curious if there will be a gap like in 2024 maybe where there aren't any bolts produced. I'm not sure. It will have the Ultium and the Ultify tech. Ultify is their vehicle software. And yeah, supposedly they say it will continue to be affordable, but we'll see. They don't have any numbers out there yet for how much it will be. One thing that I thought was interesting is I read the statistic. GM built 50,000 EVs in North America in the first half of 2023, and about 80% of those were both the EV and the EV. So I couldn't, and I'm curious if anyone else has found any real data on why they made this decision change, but I had kind of like 3 possible ideas about why that happened. One was, of course, their really good sales in the first half of the year. The second one was possibly, people calling in or, providing feedback that they were upset about this decision. And then this one's a little out there, but my third idea was maybe GM did this as a way to kind of boost sales of the Bolts
It's
this
the old
year.
New Coke thing.
I know. I mean, that's just kind of a far out there idea, but
I can tell you from my experience, I was there when the Bolt first rolled out because the first ones didn't work the way they were supposed to, so they sent them over to Roush. And I was working at Roush at the time in Detroit, and they had to do some repair on them. Roush wouldn't tell me what they were. GM's gone to a platform like everybody else has gone to a platform. That's different than the way manufacturers worked before. They made a model, it had a chassis, and the chassis worked there. Now they're going to a platform. I think they probably, knowing the Ford engineers that I worked with, they probably would say something like this. We did the Bolt. I mean, and the guys who were doing the Bolt at the time were looking at the trucks and buses we were doing. So they were riding with me. Said, we can do this. And probably they got ignored because they were like off on the side up in Detroit. The other guys were doing the platform, which, became the vehicles that are coming out now. And they looked at it and probably said, can we get our body onto the platform? That's what I was going to ask you. Let's keep looking for the news to find out if they're just putting it. It's not a question of the batteries. It's the platform.
Is it on the Ultium platform?
It's on the Ultium platform. They said we can get that body onto there, and we can get the cost down by doing these things. And the real thing will be, can they get the cost down? Because they probably want to compete with Tesla. Tesla's trying to drive the cost down. Right.
So it'll be really interesting.
So, I mean, other announcements are that they'll have the Tesla or NACS plug on the 2025 models and bi-directional.
And be able to grid.
Right. There's the GM Energy division that
they're hiring a director for the
leak out.
I my belief watching GM, being a longtime GM buyer, is that they have taken an advantage and turned it into a disadvantage, and they realized they only had one thing to sell, and that was the Bolt. Because all of their other stuff is just delay. I tried to buy a Lyric. I wanted to buy a Lyric. I couldn't find a Lyric.
Interesting. Okay.
I would have bought a Lyric. I would have bought a Lyric, and I got the EV6 instead of the Lyric because there are no Lyrics. And I just saw a review on it. I'm glad I got the EV6. Because they said the Lyric drives like a brick. Like the first space shuttle,
I know, because I did read that they're having delays with the Ultium setup, but so hopefully it's not going to also delay the Bolt coming out, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see.
Selling it.
I know. I would think that they would continue selling their current Bolt through 2024, but I didn't hear that. So, and then adding in the Ultium Bolts, I don't know. So we'll see.
Ellen, do you think you can hit the return key without hitting anything else on the computer?
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so I put this chart together, and I for some reason I keep getting these feeds on sort of the reality of what's happening in cost versus ICE to replenish charging. And so this was featured in Washington Post, and they did an analysis, and they actually did a nationwide analysis, which is the first chart to the left. But I simplified it this month just for California, and they did it on the delta savings of ICE versus an EV. Okay, that's how they broke it out. So that's why the numbers are they're really rather strange. So I'll start in this part up here in the Northwest. Gasoline costs as much as it does, and a little bit less than California, but it's about the same price as California. And California somehow magically is more expensive gasoline than Hawaii, but somehow go figure that out. You know, 15% of the population of the country, and we've got the highest gas. I don't understand it.
And I think the reason is that the electricity in Hawaii comes from oil, so they have a very large oil import.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but in the Northwest, you also have a lot of hydropower, so electricity is cheap. So the color codes are, the darker the blue, the greater the price difference. Okay, so there's a higher advantage in this one here. This is for an electric pickup. So imagine electric pickup has a huge gas tank versus a huge battery. High gas prices, low electricity prices. The Northwest has a major advantage. In the Southeast, the opposite is true. Everything is cheaper, so there's much lower incentive in the Southeast because all of the prices for everything. And then you can also imagine diagonally is that you're going from cleaner to dirtier electricity as well, while the emissions chart is the same. So on the electric SUVs, the batteries are not as big, and electric sedans, you get you get sort of the same situation as electric SUVs, but it's really just about battery sizes and range versus the local cost of gas and the local cost of electricity. And then, as you guys all know, the level 3 DC rates, Electrify America and Tesla, are somewhere between the 40 out here in California, 45 and 55 cents per kilowatt hour. So honestly, those numbers are pretty big numbers.
That's right? Savings per fill up.
That's savings per fill up. Yeah,
that's pretty. Yeah.
Oh, that's what this is based on.
This is savings
not level
per,
2 at home.
Yeah, this is savings per fill up. And then this slide here, you have to look at this in more detail. I thought the screen would be a little bigger.
What are they saying a fill up is? Like how many miles?
A full charge. Yeah, full charge. Yeah, from empty to full.
A full tank.
But yeah, full tank of gas.
They're equating it with the same amount of miles in gas.
Yeah,
capacities.
Yeah, so it's basically dollars per mile.
Yeah,
normalized by the vehicle. Yeah,
So
by the
high
vehicle.
supercharging rates versus your gas rate in that state.
Correct.
That's amazing.
Correct. So I posted
your camera's still on. You're not sharing the slide.
Oh,
we're not sharing the slides?
When did that start?
I don't know. All I can see is the camera image of all of you guys sitting around.
No. Wait a second. You've got another window someplace. It's you, not us. We're sharing.
Aaron or some of the other people on Zoom, or is that a?
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's there as a small item at the top.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. So
I would have thought of this as, how do I say this? The cost per like a specific mileage or something.
Yeah, so it's sort of like that, but imagine filling up the cleanest one is a gas F-150 versus a Lightning F-150, right? And it's the delta cost between a gas fill up and an electric Lightning F-150.
Yeah, but what Brad's saying, I think what you're saying is if I filled up this truck and I could go 500 miles in it, and I filled up this electric truck and I go 200 miles in it, is that what it's equating, or is it equating that 500 mile savings is?
I can't see the work, so I don't know where they're coming out.
I think it
says savings per fill up. That's why
savings per fill up normalized by mileage.
By a mile.
Yeah.
The important thing is that it was a sensational hit piece that was very kind of slanted toward the East Coast in gas.
Well, I think it's, I read it as a little differently than that. I think it's an important thing as we get into the second group of buyers, right? California, we sold 25% of the cars sold in California were electric in the first half, right? This year.
Yeah.
25%, right? That's not true in the rest of the country, right? That may, these kinds of hit pieces, to your point, Sonia, may be the reason, and uncovering the details behind that is going to be important to get into that second group of buyers.
So you guys made me go through
Right.
my presentation on electrify everything in 10 minutes, when my video is 17 minutes long. And there are slides on that also talk about the economy of driving EVs versus gasoline. And it did it by state as well on the deck. And I showed in California, we were
right.
about the furthest ahead. And that had to do because our energy is clean. And was impact. That was actually, I think I did it on carbon dioxide,
To me,
as opposed to
that
money.
doesn't mean anything because PG&E has very different rates and rate structures than the city of Healdsburg or the city of Ukiah.
Well, those are municipal.
This was based on an average in California
By state, because
Brett-
there's
Brett,
huge.
Yeah, but you can
differences.
do it, you can average it by, and there are numbers that do exist for us. And so it was the average for the state. Because we've got 3 major utilities, plus we've got Healdsburg, we have Palo Alto, we have a couple
Yeah.
others.
Plus my time of day.
I guess why I was thinking like
It's insane.
you do it in terms of, and it doesn't even have to be specific, just like what would it cost at 25 cents a kilowatt hour? What would it cost at 40 cents a kilowatt hour for this many miles? So that at least you could then plug in your personalizations, whether it's vehicle or your particular utility or whatever, into those kind of frameworks. Because I don't know how to do anything with this, I guess is what
Well,
I'm
I
saying.
think you guys you're having an engineering conversation. And I'm
Okay.
having a conversation.
Yeah.
We should do a salon.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, next slide.
That's a good point.
Okay. All right, this is not quite EV related, but just to let y'all know that Northern Sonoma County, the Air Pollution District, is offering air sensors, 50 of them for public facing community groups. So if you're affiliated with or know a community group who could use the benefit from having air monitoring, they can apply for this, and this data will then go on the air now and purple air. It's not for single people or individuals or single family homes. It is for
Oh, really?
for group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
just
You
FYI.
guys have used Purple Air, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Great.
So
No?
can we, as an
We don't have a building.
organization,
We don't have a,
we don't have a building.
yeah, you need a place to put it.
We need a place to put
Wi-Fi.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we are a public facing community group. And if we, as a community group, decided to put it on a personal residence, would that work?
In their
Maybe
territory.
the
Yeah.
Healdsburg or Windsor
Yes,
location.
northern
Yeah,
Sonoma
where's
County.
the fourth?
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes, it's
Okay.
northern Windsor.
Yeah, it's
North
not the
of
Bay
West.
Area Air Quality Management.
I got you. Right.
So update on SB 233. The Assembly Energy Committee approved it by a 10-4 vote, and next it'll be going to the Assembly Appropriations Committee this month. This is August, right? So
Yeah.
that's all I know for now. All right, and
That was it, huh?
yeah, we did the
Short
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah.
Our next regular meeting is September 9th. Like I said, we'll be by Zoom. We have no presentation planned. If you'd like to present a presentation, you can reach out to, is it NBEAA dash
Better ask
Team?
Gary.
Team is fine.
okay.
Or program.
Yeah.
In that case, team or program.
Um,
But I'd be willing to do the presentation on how do you buy an EV that's not qualified for the IRA and get IRA money.
okay, all right.
That's a fun one.
We got a volunteer.
That sounds.
It's a lot of spreadsheets.
Oh.
All right.
I like your.
Thank you for everyone who joined online. Would you
So you
like
have
to
to do it
stay
yourself,
online
is what you're saying,
to
Sarah.
have
It's fun.
discussions?
They take the commercial.
David,
credit.
Wait, is it just David?
you want to stay with us, David?
We would just go to a particular.
well, we
dealer.
discussed-
Well, the sound, I can barely hear you unless.
Okay.
Needle.
Well, the next time we'll get a longer cord on the microphone.
Right, yeah.
Put it in the center of the room.
All right, thank you for joining us remotely.
USB extension.
And so Grant,